But so many spectacular things happen, and I want us to just remember, if anything, 5 points. In that final hour, in his dying breath, remember this: our God reigns. God the Father was there, even though it seemed like he had abandoned him. He was everywhere because he's omnipresent. Amen? He was there. Who allowed the darkness to fall upon the earth? That would have to be someone even greater that had control. Who tore the veil in the temple? For those of you that don't understand, what is the veil? It is that curtain in the Holy of Holies that divided people from the very nature and presence of God because of his holiness. And it said at that time, the veil in the temple was torn. I don't have a veil. I don't have a veil here that's 30 feet long or high and 30 feet wide or 15 feet wide, or a hand's breadth, which is about 4 to 7 inches thick, that even it said that 2 horses couldn't pull it apart. But someone greater tore that veil, amen? Yeah. Tore that veil so that you might have access, you might have a privilege to come into the Holy of Holies, and to his presence, and to God the Father. When you are there in your dying breath, the veil was torn. The veil was torn. The veil was torn, that you can enter into the Holy of Holies. All these things happened while he was on the cross, and you and I were on his mind, and he called out to his Father. The first recorded ever words of Jesus, you know what it was? In Luke chapter 2, going to the temple with his mother and father for Passover. They lost track of him. Where is Jesus? Let's go back to Jerusalem and find him. When they found him, he was in the temple. Why did you worry us, son? We've been looking for you. Why are you? Don't you know? I need to be about my Father's business. Amen. I'm in his house. I'm doing business, the Father's business. And we just heard that he finished that business. Amen? Amen. He finished it. He was busy doing his business. The work of the Father. But you know, remember number 2. God the Father is not so far away that he can't feel. Like he empathizes with us, like Brian said. He feels our sorrow. The darkness on the earth, the veil that was torn. You know what this reminds me of? In the days when they lamented, they tore their clothes. They tore their clothes, their garments, to express anguish. And God the Father tore open the division that was there so that we could have access to him, so we can come into the Holy of Holies with no separation. In that dark hour, you and I were on his mind. He made a way for us to draw near to him, to come to him. 3, remember that even in that darkest hour when he cried out, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. Not to the earth, I commit it to you. My spirit's going to live with you forever. Amen? And that's the hope we have, especially when we minister in the hospital. We minister to someone who is already, we think, on their deathbed. I remember ministering and praying for my father when he had a stroke. Daddy, you love Jesus? Daddy, do you see heaven? Are you ready? And his eyes open. No, I'm not. I don't want to go yet. So he wasn't ready. Not then. He lived 2 more years. That told me. When you're ministering at the hospital, you minister like you give them hope. Like my father, he wasn't ready just then. But he had faith that his spirit will live on. And we are confident, yes, to be absent from the body is present with the Lord. Amen? Remember, we don't have to fear. For remember that God's hands are open wide to receive us. We'll go on to be with our Heavenly Father. We're not going to go to some dark abyss or some place that is an unknown to unknown gods. We are going to be with him. Amen? As he whispered, as he told that thief on the cross, today you'll be with me in paradise. And it's wonderful to know as a believer that one breath that you take ends here, and the next breath is in the presence of the Lord. Amen? Forever and ever. That's the hope, the blessing, the experience of being with someone. If you've ever had that experience of being in the room or there, seeing someone pass away, a believer, and there's a smile on their face and there's hope. And that's what we cherish, we cling on to. If he should tarry, and he doesn't come for another, who knows how long, many of us will experience death. So let us remember how Jesus handled death on the cross. He was doing cross ministry. He was concerned about his mother, for forgiving them, and he was doing cross ministry. He was doing ministry. And experience that when your final hours come, that he's going to wrap you with his arms, his loving arms. Because for God so loved the world. I like to say it that way. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever, you're a whosoever, I'm a whosoever, believeth in him, shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Finally, we come to our time to die. Let's learn from Jesus on the cross. He didn't murmur. He didn't complain. He didn't burst out in rage against God the Father. Remember, he reigns. God reigns. He feels compassion, and he pities, and he feels sorrowful. His hands are open wide to receive us, to take us with him forever and ever. And we will reign with him forever. God bless you this evening.